You wonder why people don't care about astronomy or the skies, simply because everybody involved in that field of astronomy is just boring. At Google, enormous amount of data that makes no sense. There is no use for the information. You have colors, analysis. You need a simple fact. Why does anybody give a damn about the astronomy, about the stars? Asking a simple question. Why the atmosphere of the earth is attached to the earth? If you look at the skies, the clouds don't seem to be running crazy at the speed of sound. I live in Utah. The speed of earth in Utah is about 700 miles per hour from west to east. The spinning of the earth. If you look at NASA here, that is from planetary fact sheet. So you ask yourself, if the earth spins at 700 miles per hour in Utah, at the equator, 1000 miles per hour, that is over the speed of sound. So why do the clouds and the air don't go crazy and spin at the opposite direction at that speed? That is the question that I asked, and I needed an answer for it. The answer is here is the earth. Those are the terrestrial planets. From here, from Mars, Earth, Venus, Mercury. Gaseous planets, or what you call it, Jovian planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Let us forget about Pluto now. Pluto now is no more a planet. So when you come to the Jovian planets, those are the gaseous, the giant planets. All these planets are enormously huge. The Earth's diameter is about 12,000 kilometers. That's the diameter of the Earth. We are talking about kilometer now here, not miles. If you look at the giant planets, all of them are huge. Like Jupiter is about over 10 times the diameter of the Earth. Saturn is exactly 10 times. Uranus is about, say, 4 times the diameter of the Earth. Neptune is about 4 times. Those are giant planets. So when you go down in the column here to get the surface pressure as a planet, all of them are unknown. Why are unknown? Because they are made from gas. At the Earth, the atmosphere, we say 1 atmospheric pressure. We try to make comparison between the planets, getting a sense that astronomy affects your life. You ask yourself, why do I care if the air is not moving at the speed of sound? Because the air is going to move one day at the speed of sound and is going to cause disasters. It can cause hurricanes. And the tornadoes, it doesn't run at the speed of sound when it spins, but it runs at very high speed. That will make the tornadoes. So you ask yourself, why do I have to know anything about astronomy? The Earth is unique. Mercury has no atmosphere, or very thin atmosphere, so it has almost no pressure. Venus is crazy. Venus is the craziest planet ever. The pressure is enormous, 92 atmospheric pressure on Venus. Why? Because it doesn't spin fast. How hot is it? What is the temperature, the average temperature on Venus? The main temperature, 464, that's centigrade, which means if you put aluminum on Venus, it's going to melt. Let us go back to find out why the atmosphere of the Earth is attached to the Earth. From this table, you can realize that the Earth is unique, very unique. The Earth has something that nobody else has. First, the Earth temperature is 15 degrees average. Mercury is over boiling temperature. Mercury, that is centigrade, by the way. Mercury is hot. Venus is extremely hot. Mars is cold, very cold. The outer solar system, everything is extremely cold until you get to Neptune is minus 200 degrees. Why is the Earth is not very hot, is not very cold? You keep going away from the sun, it is cooler. it gets to minus 200 degrees, but Venus is an aberration. Mercury is hot, but it's not very hot, even though it's very close to the sun. How close it is, you go to the perihelion. The perihelion is the closest distance to the sun. Mercury is about, in terms of 1,000,000 kilometers. So Mercury is the closest, 46. If you keep going out, after that, the Venus goes almost over twice as much as Mercury. The Earth almost about 3 times as much as Mercury. Mars is almost about 5 times as Mercury. So the distance keep going up and up and up. That is the perihelion, shortest distance between the planet and the sun. It goes up and up. The more you go out, the distance increases. You assume that Venus was supposed to be cooler than Mercury. It is not. So that tells you that the composition of the planet determines the atmosphere, and the atmosphere determines how much absorption and how much reflection the surface will have from the sun, from the solar heat. One of the unique facts about the rotation is the Earth rotates about itself every 24 hours. That makes the Earth be able, like a baking process, can distribute the heat around itself nicely. That's what makes the temperature of the Earth is 15 degrees centigrade. While when you look at Venus, that spins about itself every 5,000, say 6,000 hours, doesn't regulate the temperature. The temperature is 464 centigrade, extremely hot, extremely slow in rotation around itself. That is why it cannot regulate its temperature. Temperature is so high. Mercury spins around itself about every 1400 hours. That's why the temperature is higher than the Earth. If you go to Mars, Mars is our closest friend. That's another question you ask yourself. Why do you care about Mars? Mars spins around itself almost every 24 hour point, something like the Earth. Mars's temperature is very cold, almost to minus 50, 60. The freezing here is 0 degrees centigrade. The air pressure on Mars, the surface pressure of 100th, almost have very little air. Let us go now to the composition of the planet. That gives you an idea, a vague idea, why the Earth is unique. The Earth is unique because it spins around itself fast enough to distribute the heat. It has an atmosphere with a pressure of almost 1 bar, and it differs from the closest planet, much cooler than Mercury, much hotter than Mars. It has more pressure than Mars. If you compare it to the crazy giants from Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, all of them are extremely cold. That will answer my question, why is the atmosphere of the Earth is attached to the Earth? Because the sun is able to puncture holes in the atmosphere to make high pressure points that make the air spins around those puncture holes or high pressure holes or high pressure hot areas that created by the sun. The sun cannot do that in the giant planets because they are extremely cold, because they are made from gases, helium and hydrogen. The sun cannot make focused point of heat. The heat came immediately from the hot areas on the planet. Another thing, the planets are too far from the sun. Those 4 planets cannot have a fixed atmosphere. The atmosphere spins like crazy around these 4 planets. The Earth is the only planet that have a fixed atmosphere. The atmosphere rotates above your head at the same speed of your Earth. So you feel like the clouds are standing above you. But if you are in Jupiter, you cannot be there not because it's too far, because air is too fast. It destroys everything. It makes rings and it makes a smooth uniform layer around those 4 planets. Of course, if you go to Mercury, it has 0 atmosphere, so there is nothing there. You have to take your air with you, and also it's too hot, you have to take your air conditioning with you. Nobody can land on Venus because we don't have a metal that can stand this temperature, or electronics, or any device that can put you on Venus surface. You can land a lot of things on Mars because it's cold, but not very cold. And your only chance to go to Mars, to stand on a planet with your own feet, is Mars. After Mars, you have Jupiter. It is made from gases, helium, hydrogen. Mars, it is too cold, but you can have a ground to stand on, a surface to stand on. Mars is almost under, say, 1/3 our gravity. If you go to the moon, it is too little gravity, 1/6. That might give you an idea why the Earth is unique in having comfortable temperature, comfortable acceleration, and pressure that allows the sun to bake certain points on the surface and cool other points, allow the atmosphere to spin locally around these foci, hot pressure zones that are created by the sun. When the Earth spins every 24 hours, these foci, hot regions that are created by the sun, are going to spin with the sun. That's what makes the air attached to the local spots of the Earth, rather than having this bizarre phenomena of having an unknown surface pressure and extremely cold air and gases. Let us now go to the gas composition. That is the most useful table by NASA. If you look at the Earth, where is the Earth? The Earth is right here. This is our Earth. Earth is the unique planet, all the nitrogen in the universe. Look at the Earth, you have that number, the 78%, say 80%, multiplied by the volume or the mass of the Earth. Because if you look at this number here, 90%, from here you can tell Earth is the only planet that has a lot of nitrogen in the atmosphere. Again, Earth is the only planet that has enormous oxygen content. Now we can summarize. Only important two numbers are these two numbers that makes the Earth the most unique planet in the universe, with 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen multiplied by the mass of the atmosphere. That is 1.4 10 to the power 21. All the giant planets have no carbon dioxide. None of them have any nitrogen. When you have hydrogen and helium, the sun cannot fix the atmosphere to the giant planets. The sun can only fix the atmosphere to the Earth because of the oxygen and nitrogen content that's enormous. The nitrogen is about 14 times as heavy as hydrogen. So oxygen is about 16 times as heavy. The Earth has an atmosphere that can absorb the heat of the sun. It spins fast enough to regulate its own heat, and that answers the question of why the Earth's atmosphere is fixed to the ground, to the person walking on the Earth doesn't see supersonic windstorm above him.